Germany is an innovative and technologically advanced country with deep roots in engineering as well as business. It strives to be a powerful competitor in the world market with their efficiency and elegance. They have made quite a statement in their 2050 climate action plan, along with technologically advanced companies such as BMW and Volkswagen. As Germany's green initiatives are instated, environmentally friendly ideals are changing various modes of transportation.
In 2016, due to Paris Climate Agreement, Germany set a goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 55% relative to greenhouse gas emissions in 1990. This goal became known as the Climate Action Plan. As a result, Germany began to push sustainable energy even more with a strong focus on wind and solar power. With over 30,000 wind turbines across the country, wind power plays a large part in Germany's sustainable energy. During March 2019, for around a week, wind power alone generated around 50% of Germany's public electricity. In 2018, wind turbines generated 20.4% of Germany's electricity, while in the US they only generated 6.5% of public electricity in America. From 2016 to 2018, Germany saw an average of a 5.9% increase of electricity generated from wind power and a 1.4% increase of electricity generated from solar power. On May 27, 2019, 28.1% of Germany's electricity was generated from wind power and 14.6% from solar power. On this day, over 60% of the electricity generated was generated from renewable resources. Meanwhile, in 2017, the Trump administration officially declared the exit of the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement and proceeded to talk about cutting funds for sustainable energy efforts. In 2018, the U.S. generated, on average, less than 20% of its electricity from renewable resources, whereas Germany generated about 40.6% of its electricity from renewable resources.
As Germany develops into a more environmentally friendly country, electric vehicles and bicycles are the modes of transportation that will further shift Germany into a gas-neutral country.
To lessen Germany's fossil fuel consumption, the country started looking towards electric and hybrid cars. Knowing that their citizens won't immediately switch or won't find a reason to, the government decided to set up an incentive program. They set aside 600 million euros to pay people who bought electric or hybrid cars. They would get 40,000 euros if they bought an electric car and 3,000 for a hybrid car. After installing this in 2015, the amount of environmentally friendly vehicles has almost tripled. They plan to use the system until they get 300,000 to 500,000 new electric vehicles on the road. To further incentivize people to switching, the government started building electric outlets for cars around the cities. One of their programs being that they convert distribution boxes into a total of 12,000 charging stations. To accommodate for the switch between normal to electric vehicles, Volkswagen has redesigned their batteries so that their cars have more room than normal electric cars and have a wider range. Another way Germany has cut down on their exhaust fumes is by running trams and subway systems. Both systems run on electricity compared to combustion motors as on a bus. The subway has a third rail that's electrically charged. The tram has an electric cable hung above the tracks for its power. To be able to make this system completely clean, the electricity would have to come from renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar.
Today, Germany is one of the leading cycling nations with 82% of Germans who use bicycles. The benefits of cycling for transportation are far-reaching on the environment as well as physically and mentally. Cycling saves CO2 emissions equaling more than 16 million tons of CO2 per year in the European countries. This is a direct result of the reduced use of non-renewable resources. Also, air pollution and noise pollution are virtually non-existent using this mode of transportation. The infrastructure needed for walking and cycling need less space than the infrastructure for cars. First viewed Germany, it was most definitely a culture shock. However, it was amazing to see how intricately bikes were tied into the city. The infrastructure that was built specifically for the bikes was a lane where no pedestrians would cross. It shocked me how there were bikes all over the cities we visited. Bikes were stored in massive arrays by train stations to outlets on the side of the road. There was no shortage of bikes in Germany. This is quite different from the US. In the United States and Germany, the trends of daily trips for walking and cycling vary greatly. North American countries, like the US and Canada, only have 1/10 of their daily trips by walking and cycling. The vast majority of their trips are car-oriented. Comparatively speaking, European countries, like Germany, have over 3/10 of their daily trips by walking and cycling. Most European countries have percent of active travel ranging from 20 to 30%. From 1977 to 2009, the percent of trips by cycling and walking have declined over the past 4 decades in Germany. The United States has had a relatively stable period over the past 40 years. However, it doesn't constitute a relatively large amount in comparison to the other forms of transportation. Germany is still more environmentally conscious and plays a big role in their society. The percent of daily trips of walking and cycling for Germany are still consistently 3 times that of the United States. Even though the overall trips of walking and cycling have decreased over the past 4 decades, U.S. cities have seen an increase of 60% for individuals biking to work. Brian McKenzie, a Census Bureau sociologist, reported that this is a direct result of the initiatives that larger cities have instated, such as bike share programs, bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly streets. These have helped support transportation options like cycling and walking. Now, large cities have had an increase in the amount of people who bike to work, such as Portland, Oregon, Madison, Wisconsin, and Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Today, Germany and the United States are instating green initiatives to transition into more environmentally friendly countries. Germany has made great strides in integrating renewable resources into their electricity, as well as their increased resilience in transportation modes, like bicycling and electric cars. While the United States has recently taken a few steps back in the fight against greenhouse gas emissions, there are still countries such as Germany that are still working together towards a greener and brighter future.